and you're landing on top. So I have great respect when I see them land. 3 weeks ago they were landing and doing it beautifully. They had they're very, very talented people, and no.
Donald Trump orders new military operation. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said in a social media post Thursday that the U.S. military's expanding anti-drug campaign in the Caribbean will now be known as Operation Southern Spear. The new designation underscores the growing scale and long-term nature of the mission, which began this summer as part of the Trump administration's effort to target narcoterrorism in the region. U.S. forces have carried out at least 20 strikes on vessels in South American waters, killing at least 76 people, officials have said. When reached for comment via email, Pentagon spokesperson directed Newsweek to a press release from last month regarding Joint Task Force Southern Spear, which are the ongoing operations in the U.S. Southern Command region. Operation Southern Spear, what to know? The operation will include nearly a dozen Navy ships and about 12,000 sailors and Marines positioned in the area following the upcoming arrival of the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford. The arrival of the USS Gerald Ford in Caribbean waters has started what one defense expert calls a strategic shot clock, forcing the Trump administration to decide whether to act militarily against Venezuela or retreat, each with profound geopolitical consequences. The aircraft carrier group was ordered into the region on October 24th by Hegseth, who relocated it from the Mediterranean. According to the Pentagon, its mission is to detect, monitor, and disrupt illicit actors operating drug trafficking routes that span from the Pacific to the Caribbean. But the scale of the deployment and its proximity to Venezuela have signaled a broader intent. U.S. officials have long accused Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro's government of cooperating with drug trafficking groups and corrupt security forces, allegations Maduro denies and dismisses as a pretext for Washington to weaken his regime. The operations began in the southern Caribbean near Venezuela's coast, but have recently shifted to the eastern Pacific, where U.S. forces have targeted boats off Mexico. Hegseth wrote Thursday on X, "President Trump ordered action and the Department of War is delivering. Today, I'm announcing Operation Southern Spear, led by Joint Task Force Southern Spear and U.S. Southern Command. This mission defends our homeland, removes narco-terrorists from our hemisphere, and secures our homeland from the drugs that are killing our people. The Western Hemisphere is America's neighborhood, and we will protect it." Hegseth's announcement comes after President Trump on Wednesday received updated military options for potential operations in Venezuela, including possible land strikes. According to CBS News, senior defense leaders, including Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane, briefed the president on scenarios for the coming days. The Trump administration, backed by Secretary Hegseth, has defended the strikes near Venezuela as part of a broader campaign against what it calls narco-terrorists and transnational criminal networks. Hegseth has argued that drug trafficking vessels operating in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific pose a direct threat to U.S. national security, and that the operations fall under the president's war powers. The Trump administration, backed by Secretary Hegseth, has defended the strikes near Venezuela as part of a broader campaign against what it calls narco-terrorists and transnational criminal networks. Hegseth has argued that drug trafficking vessels operating in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific pose a direct threat to U.S. national security, and that the operations fall under the president's war powers. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Wednesday that President Trump is intent on stopping the flow of drugs into the United States by targeting what he called organized criminal narco-terrorists. Speaking to Report,